Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Thanks for joining us today. Today we'll actually be looking at something different. We'll be going over an article written by at WeDeyCodes. I'm sure many of you know her, and it's I really enjoyed reading this article because it described the different aspects of getting into tech, and I think that's very important because many people assume that it's limited to certain people, or that you need a bachelor's degree, or in some cases a PhD, or you need to be from some country in order to be a software engineer. We're going to dispel those myths today and also get an idea of how to actually get into it. So stay tuned and please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. And of course, add your comments in the comment section below. So let's get started. Okay, so this is the article. The link is actually in the description box below, and it's titled How to Kickstart Your Tech Career, and it's a step-by-step guide. It was written this year by Edith Young Asupo, and she's at WeDeyCode on Twitter. And if again, this isn't promotional, this isn't a paid video. I'm just doing this because I think it's something nice to read, and it's also educational. Okay, so of course you can see the very first line there tells you that a career in tech is a career without boundaries. And what this means is that even at the geographical level, you can work anywhere in the world. Your team could be in, let's say in Mexico, and you're working in Nairobi, for example. You could all be in South Africa and possibly in different parts of South Africa working together. Some people could be in Pretoria, some people could be in Johannesburg, and really working without boundaries. Now, apart from the geographical boundaries, there's also the roles themselves. So there are different things you can do. You don't only have to write code. You don't only have to be a software engineer. You can write code if that interests you. You could also be a UI UX designer, meaning that you design the experience that users of your application would have, and you also design the visual, the user interface, the layout of your application, and that those are some things. You could also be a product manager or product owner, so that's the person who takes the requirements. Usually, they take the requirements and figure out what's the next thing for the team to do. You could also work as someone in QA. So QA is quality analysis. After software has been built, someone needs to test it. Someone needs to make sure that it's working well. There's also DevOps. Today we call them DevOps, and what they do is really just think about how your software application, the company software application that you worked on, how that can be packaged together and shipped into and deployed into different environments. And loosely, that's part of what they do. And there's a whole lot more in there. So it's a career without boundaries. So whether that's web development, or you see even product design, or project management, and of course even app development, the reality is that the ecosystem is huge. Okay, so then it's all about giving yourself a chance. Don't think that you can't do it. Don't think that you need to be someone who has a PhD. Like I said earlier, that's ridiculous. Let me actually give you one insight. Computer science itself is, it's a broad field, and it's largely theoretical and academic, right? So software development is one of the jobs that people will do after getting a computer science degree. That's not all. People go into maybe hardware networking. Some people go into management if that's what interests them. Some people go into further studies, right? So the fact that there are many people, and you will see this on research done by Stack Overflow or HackerRank. You'd see that, and I'll also link those in the description. The fact that there are many people who hold bachelor's degrees in computer science or mathematics or something similar, and who are software engineers, does not mean that you must go through that route as well. Of course, the benefits and disadvantages of taking that route. Some of the best people, some of the best software engineers I've met, in my experience that I've worked with, when push comes to shove, working on really tight deadlines, within tight deadlines, they actually didn't even study computer science. I know people who studied history. I know people who went to a coding boot camp. Some people who just started straight out of high school. Some others who there was this one person who had a PhD in physics, but they're all still doing the same thing. And that PhD in physics, I don't believe that had any impact on what they were actually doing day to day with their coding skills. So don't feel limited. Don't think that you need to be this super genius or something, or maybe people with glasses or something like that, or that there's no limits. It's all about actually putting in the time, putting in the effort, and allowing yourself over a long period of time to actually grow and learn. Right. The reality is that there may be gaps in between your learning stages. I could tell you that I first got started into coding maybe around like 2012, but I wasn't coding every day. I had limited access, so I was probably coding like, or at least looking at something that looked like code, maybe once or twice a year. And over the years, it picked up, right, due to lots of different factors. Because yes, I studied computer science, but then also I had better internet access to watch videos like this. So it's coding is definitely something that requires the time, and it's you grow as you keep going on. You can't study your way to be a programmer. Like, the studying is meant to supplement actually doing. They go hand in hand. So what is taught in class is generally theoretical, and even when they teach software development patterns, design principles and all that, it's difficult to actually get those abstract ideas until you actually try to write the code and see what happens when you don't follow those patterns. So coding is something you have to do. It's not something you cram or like study for the night before an exam. So first thing is, on this article, is you need to do your own research, right? Even with everything I'm saying, just like I said earlier, this is not a promotional video. Always do your own research, right? Find out what actually matters to you. What do you actually want to learn? And it could be difficult to figure that out because, of course, it's a new space. So this is one strategy I actually use. I try to understand who are the big players in that space, right? What roles are they hiring for? Okay, so go to their LinkedIn, go to their job boards, the career page on their websites, find out what jobs they're hiring for that you're interested in, okay, in the field you're interested in. So look at the job description, look at what they're asking people for, right? Look at what they're like, what's responsibilities, the day-to-day activities that they expect from potential employees. Look at the technologies and the skills and the tools listed. That gives you an idea of, okay, this is what I should be learning, because you don't want to learn something that may not be reusable. All right, so you need to do that for a few different companies, and also do that across if companies of different sizes. That's actually very important to give you an idea. So just pick like 5-6 companies of your choice. Like, just get a spreadsheet and write this out, and then from there choose different technologies. So maybe someone is interested in mixed reality. So that's AR, XR, VR, augmented reality, virtual reality, extended reality. Someone else could be interested in blockchain technology. Another person could be interested in database administration. Someone else could be interested in, let's say, DevOps, mobile development. So look at different things. Give yourself enough time to explore each of those areas. Okay. It will seem overwhelming at first, but what's meant to happen over time is you're meant to prune down this list, where you cut down what you don't need. Okay, so the advantage there is that you start finding out, okay, at least this is what I know I don't like. For a long time, I thought I liked cryptography because I saw in movies, where people were hacking and all that. I thought it was cool, but in reality, when it was time to do it, I was like, yeah, I actually don't like this thing. It's going way over my head. And I don't want to put in, I knew I did not want to put in the time to do it. right? That's part of being honest to yourself. And I went to something that was much better for me and much more profitable. So you need to do your own research, right? Find a few different things that you think you could be interested in. Try them out. Go on GitHub. Go on Stack Overflow. Look for projects, similar projects that people have built. Right. Go on YouTube as well. You're already in YouTube, so check around. Not just my channel. Look at other YouTube channels. Like, what are people learning, and then try them out. Don't just watch the videos. Don't just read the tutorials. And we'll get to that shortly. Actually do them. Right. You have to actually do it, and then start pruning things down. Now, one thing I should mention is while you're doing your research, don't prune things down because of the difficulty. That's a bad. That's an inefficient approach. You prune things down because you genuinely do not see yourself doing this. How do you see yourself doing something? Right? You have to, again, this is why you need to look at the companies who are hiring for this specific technology. So if I know that, okay, a specific company, let's say IBM, they're hiring for technical writers, right? People to write about what, the software being built. Okay, you have to see yourself doing that. Listen to people who are already technical writers, right? Check them out on LinkedIn. Check their videos. You could even just Google technical writer job description, right? All of these things listed here. Just write it out on Google. Web developer job description, right? Mobile developer daily activities, right? Of course, those are generic terms, but it's to give you a good idea. This is how you do research of the industry, right? So you see who's there, who's out there, right? And you prune things down when you feel like, okay, this might not be for me. Don't say because it's difficult, it's not for you. No, that's never a reason, because everything is difficult, right? You'll be shocked. I don't want to pick anything on this list so it doesn't look like I'm being putting down some position, but you'll be shocked that what you think is easy will still require some level of difficulty. There has to be that level of difficulty for it to be worth it. Okay. So with the search engine route, ask what are the benefits of becoming a technical writer, right? What do you need to know to be a data scientist, right? Search data scientist roadmap, right? Front-end developer roadmap. There's even another YouTube channel called the Roadmap or something like that. It started out as a GitHub repo, right? Where people talk about the roadmap for being a front-end developer, everything you need from start to finish. Go look for those things. Okay, and of course, try and ask someone in tech, right? Look around, ask as many people as you can, and don't feel bad if they ignore you or anything. Like let's be honest, everybody has their own thing going on. So feel free to also message us on Twitter at WeDeyCode, and also add your comments in the description box, because I'll definitely answer those. Check people out on LinkedIn. Check them out on Twitter, on any other coding platform. Okay, so over here she just gives you an example. Then now you have to start deciding which path to take. So just like I said before, you have to start pruning down things. So this is a very important point here. She said, think about your current transferable skills, right? So, or just think about, what you currently do that could be a strength. Okay. So of course, as you're learning, right, and you're finding out your weak points, also find out the strengths, right? Your areas of strength, and really amplify those. Because in reality, there's this problem of, should I be a generalist or should I be a specialist? Maybe in the future we'll make some video about that. Many times it's depending on where you're applying to, what you want to do. There are benefits of being a specialist. There are also benefits of being a generalist, right? The best way to be a specialist is to figure out, a few things you're really good at, and that you can combine together, in addition with coding or whatever career path you want to take in coding. Figure out how you can combine those and look for companies who are hiring for that, and go with that. Right? That will also make you feel. That will also make you like what you're doing. I should mention that it's not so important to do what you love in the beginning stages than to love what you do. You need to actually, and I'm sure people have heard this, love the process, enjoy the process, rather than only going for things that you like. You could lose out a lot of opportunities that way, because many times what you're afraid of is really just because of the uncertainty. Why is there uncertainty? Right, because you're not yet familiar with it. So you need to familiarize yourself with certain things. You might think mobile development is not for you, but like start building something and you'll be shocked that, okay, yeah, this is actually something I'm interested in. Okay. Now, just get started, right? Don't wait to get perfect. Like look at this YouTube channel. Look at the quality of the videos. Like I'm not waiting till I buy all the equipment. I'm not waiting till I have a full team. I'm not waiting till I have 1,000 subscribers or something. We only have like 20 something subscribers as of the time of this video, right? And on Twitter, they're only like less than 100 people on Twitter, which is still good. Thank you everyone for following us. Please, thank you. Please keep liking. Please keep subscribing. Speaking with us. And what I mean is like there's this quote out there: you don't need to be great to get started. You need to get started to become great, right? The problem is that many people look at someone's chapter 70, right? And they see that person, they're trying to replicate what that person has when they're still at chapter 1. That's a recipe for burnout. So just start, keep going. I can tell you that even before making this video, I was searching online, how do I add a virtual background, because I don't have the same backgrounds that many other YouTubers have. See, they have like the cameras, they have the equipment, they have all that. My guy, there's no time. Please, just start. Right. The more time you wait, the further you delay it. Just start. Don't worry about being perfect. You polish yourself as you go each day. Okay. So it says, yeah, go for a passion, but be practical too. So I already spoke about this, and I have my own opinions on this. There's a popular quote or misquote from Steve Jobs. I think it was when he gave this speech at Stanford in 2005 to like the graduating class. He said something like, he said, love what you do. But many people said, do what you love. I think that's, the problem. Those are two different things, okay? Do what you love means only go for things that you like. But with more experience, you realize, I have to pay my bills. Man must job. So if you only go for things that you like, I'm not saying that things you like will never be profitable. It's very difficult to get to a stage where you can find something that you like that will also be profitable. And even for that, you need to do an extreme amount of work in order to do that. Because guess what? Many people also like that thing, and if it was that easy to make money, they would all be doing it, right? So focus on actually getting something that initially can act as a platform for you to build yourself up onto the point where you can now choose what you like rather than only taking what is available. Okay, now find tools and resources online. Don't do this alone. Look for resources online. Again, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to others. There are lots of other YouTube channels that provide very useful information. Websites like this, Free Code Camp, Hacker Noon, Medium, Dev.to. I'm just thinking of the websites that I've been using over the years. There's so many of them that I can't even mention. The best thing is, and you learn this is also funny enough, is a software engineering like principle, maybe not principle, but it's something you definitely see. There's a subscription model, right? Imagine this scenario. I need to know when the food is done cooking, but I'm upstairs and the kitchen is downstairs. What options do I have? I could keep going downstairs to check. Is it done? Is it done? Is it done? I'll get tired and I won't be able to do other things, right? However, if I just put a whistle on the thing or a timer that will beep, right? That notifies me that okay, there's something here. Or I could also tell someone to come and tell me when it's done, right? So I've subscribed to a notification about that thing. Okay, so that's actually what I do. I subscribe to lots of different newsletters, podcasts, websites, Twitter accounts. Let the information come to you. And of course, sometimes there can actually be information overload. But figure out, which ones to start pruning off. I can tell you that when I got into the specific field I'm in, that's all that was on my Facebook, all that was on my Twitter, all that was on my LinkedIn, all that was on my YouTube. Every single thing, I was fully immersed in that because I'd already done enough pruning down, and I found, okay, this is the one I want, and That's what I was doing. I was letting all the information come to me. So after a while, you figure out how to decrease that because it can get overwhelming. Okay. Um, then just start learning. Okay. The secret of getting ahead is getting started, right? I actually remember someone who used to say something like this: if you want to be ahead, start early, right? Or just get started. Because most people aren't going to get started. Okay. Now, what does this mean? Just start learning. Don't wait until you've perfected everything before you move. You could miss out on lots of opportunities, right? You, of course, you need to present yourself well, but why didn't, like, think of it this way? Instead of doing, let's say you need to do 100 things in order to get to a state of perfection, right? Why do 100 things in one day, which is impossible? What rather than maybe doing 2 things a day for 50 days, or 4 things a day for 25 days, or 10 things a day for 10 days. You can see those are different levels of stress. Okay, and what actually happens is that since you're doing something each day, other people can see and they can say, oh, okay, I need someone who can do XYZ. I see you've already done this in the past. Rather than trying to do 100 things all at once, trying to get perfect before you start. Someone who does 100 things in one day, guess what? For the remaining, probably like the next 20 days, they're going to be burnt out. They won't be able to do anything. Okay, so you need to actually pace yourself reasonably, right? And of course, put it out there. Self advertise. Promote yourself. That's one of the biggest advantages that we have today. Things like Twitter, LinkedIn. Promote yourself. Promote yourself. It's actually very important. Okay, so yeah, definitely set up a schedule. That works for you. For example, some people do like maybe 1 hour a day. So as soon as you wake up, before you go anywhere, maybe just spend that 1 hour. For some people on the way to work, you can listen to podcasts, right? Or you can download videos to watch or tutorials. Okay, you can read a book on the way. Maybe when you get back home, after eating or something, relaxing, instead of watching series. Of course, you can watch series. I'm not going to be impractical. Of course, everybody has to watch series to relax as well. Maybe instead of watching series every day, right? Maybe just carve out a little bit of time. You don't go for 2 hours straight. That's a recipe for disaster. Start with 10 minutes a day, but keep yourself accountable, right? That's the reality, because 10 minutes a day seems like a little bit of time. So many people will just ignore it, okay? Then move to 30 minutes a day, right? 40 minutes, then 1 hour, okay? Try to keep it to 1 hour a day. There's no need to go beyond that, right? There's no rush. Some people might say, okay, I'll just wait until Saturday to do it. The problem is that if you wait until Saturday to do it, you're piling up stuff and then expecting that, okay, on Saturday I'll just do that. If it works for you, fine, that's good, because there's an advantage to just focus studying for a long period of time. So you can switch in between different things and find out what works for you, but come up with something that can keep you accountable. Okay, now one of my favorite pieces of advice here is build projects. When I start asking, oh, how do I build projects when I don't know how to code? Well, guess what? The way to learn how to code, right, is to build projects. Like that's you can watch a million tutorials, and when it's time to finally code, you can feel stuck. I felt that so many times, and it's something I've told lots of people. You don't need to watch all the tutorials. Let me tell you a hint about these tutorials, right? Because it's an online video, it's a YouTube video, right? They'll obviously have to remove the parts where there are errors, remove all the parts, the 30 minutes they spent on Stack Overflow and GitHub issues and different websites and other people's tutorials, trying to find out the problem to their solution. Same with me, because that's the reality as a software engineer. Even I've seen people with 10 years of experience still searching online for stuff. That is the reality. It's not about who has all this information in their head, like this very static way of thinking. That's impractical, because in most things you will be doing lots of stuff that is very new. So you may not immediately get to a stage where everything you're working on will require you to only focus on what you know and use what you know. Right? There definitely are projects like that, but initially go for projects where you can find information online. Of course, it's okay to use other people's code. Just add credit there. Don't take credit for other people's work. Like, it's okay to use other people's code as well if it's open source. Just add the comments. Oh, I got this from https /github.com/ this person's URL, and the URL to the repo, or to the URL to Stack Overflow. It's all good. Like, nobody's going to come and chase you. Like, this isn't academia where you have to give reference for every single thing you do. With coding, like, just go, because it's very unlikely that any one of your projects will just blow. that doesn't just happen immediately, right? So start building projects, okay? And of course, yes, you do need some foundation knowledge, and that's why we've also started doing that, right? We have this channel playlist, right? Our first playlist, which is a series of front-end skills, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can check that in the description below. In there, you see that we're showing you the fundamentals, but don't wait. There are more resources. You don't even have to wait for us to finish the videos. Just go out there and do your stuff. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Just start writing, right? You don't even need to be an expert. Like, whatever you learn, just put it up there. It's going to be useful for someone. Even if no one finds it useful, you will find it useful because you actually remember what you write down. When someone tells you, okay, summarize what you've heard, that's when you realize, oh, I actually wasn't paying attention. The fastest way to learn is to teach someone else. I'll give you a simple hint, right? Many of the things I'm also teaching, I've forgotten lots of them. And now by teaching them, it allows me to go back and revisit, right? So it's also helping me learn. And that's the reality. So go out there, try to stay consistent. You may not be able to do it every day, and that's understandable. I'm not going to tell you do it every day. Like, when you're starting out, that may not be helpful, because you may not have yet built the drive and the mental system of how to keep yourself on track. I don't want to use the word motivated. Motivation is just like getting on the bike. Then experience and discipline and drive is you pushing the pedal, right? You can take a break every once in a while and then you keep pushing the pedal. Motivation is just, you won't always have motivation. Let me tell you that. If anyone says they're fully motivated, or oh, this is my passion, that doesn't last long. Like, I've also felt that way, and it's not to put anyone down. What I'm simply saying is that you won't always have high energy or high interest in something that you need to get done. If you need to get something done, you need to get it done. You won't always have high, you won't always be in this state of glee and happiness, right? There are many times that it could feel very difficult. I don't want to paint this picture of, oh, software engineering is like, oh, nice and cool and easy. No, there are many times when I've also thought of, like, oh, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? Everyone else is out there just having fun. Why am I staring at my computer trying to learn some skill sets? Well, it actually pays off. Things you learn pay off. And that's why it's important to also put it out there. Apply for jobs. Let me tell you, apply for jobs. Don't let anyone say, even the jobs that say, oh, 10 years old, I apply for jobs. Don't let anyone deceive you that, oh, you, like, just apply for them, see what happens. And sometimes you can even ask for feedback when they reject your application, because that's going to happen a lot. There were times when I used to wake up each day to like 50 rejection emails per day. But eventually I go on, right? And you get some interviews, right? It's all good. That's part of the process, right? It shows you that you're actually moving. And the reality is that day to day, you may not see the improvements, okay? But after a year, you will definitely see the improvements, and others will. Others will definitely see the improvements. After 2 years, you'll be like, wow. You look at your old code and you'll be like, who wrote that? After 5 years, after 6 years, yeah, you will definitely see the improvements. It's just like anything. You just have to keep doing it long enough, right? That's who we call experts. People who have been doing stuff long enough and with more focus than everybody else, right? So if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and also add comments down below. Share this on Twitter, share this everywhere else. Remember to follow us at WeDeyCode on Twitter, and I'll see you next time. Bye.